Welcome to New York's number 2 sports show. The Rangers' 5-game winning streak is snapped by the Pittsburgh Penguins. They lose 5-2 at Madison Square Garden, and it started off as bad as it could start. 18 seconds in, Pittsburgh scored, and the talking point of this game, and he's been a talking point for me even in games he hasn't been involved in, is once again Jacob Trouba. It's just, I know it's a second game back. I know that that's what Peter Laviolette will say and may even believe that, Trouba will improve, and he will. I mean, he's been absolutely awful the last 2 games versus the Coyotes and the Penguins. I think he's been on for maybe 6 goals against. And he directly, no questions about it, directly caused that first goal by Pittsburgh, the Brian Russ goal, and was absolutely involved in a negative way in the other 2 non-empty net goals by the Penguins. It's, that wasn't a great performance by the Rangers tonight. They could have easily won the game, but the Rangers have been falling behind a lot and have had the ability to come back. Didn't happen tonight. And that's the thing, when you trail by 2 goals, and more times than not, you're probably not going to come back, even though the Rangers have shown that ability to do so. It's just, I'm concerned. The thing that could fail Laviolette is his insistence on giving Jacob Trouba important minutes. And the fact that he feels as if that, okay, we got to have Trouba, up against the Crosby line. The 2 big-time forwards, I'll still say it, because I know they have Evgeny Malkin. I know they have Malkin. I know there's some other decent, Riley Smith. There's other, more than serviceable forwards of the Penguins, with the one line that could beat you tonight. And I guess Riley Smith was on this line, is the Crosby-Russ line. That's the one line that can beat you. And so we're going to decide to go with Jacob Trouba in that role against that line. Make it make sense. Because, and it's not fair to compare, but especially because the way that they're both playing right now, but how big of a difference is it when Adam Fox is on the ice compared to Jacob Trouba? It's not even close. It's just not even close. So I like this Ranger team a lot. I like, just more than talent, skill, structure, I like the moxie and the resilience and the attitude that they've had. And look, arguably Jacob Trouba's greatest asset is that, clearly they do respect him and he is a big-time leader in the locker room, right? So, was I a big fan of him becoming the captain? No, I wasn't. But, there's bigger issues and bigger concerns. That's something that, he is the leader of the team. However, as far as his on-ice play, it has really taken a bit of a nosedive in many ways. And this is coming from someone who, if you heard episodes earlier in the season, I was giving Trouba a lot of credit, where I felt like he was very consistent. And even then, I was probably being a little bit too positive. But that was how I felt. I felt like, Trouba, he wasn't making those horrible mistakes. And I just felt like he was playing all right. Was there much offense? No. And we know that there isn't. But also, Trouba has provided some bits of offense as a Ranger in select seasons. I think back, I guess, to 2022, I think was the year. Yeah, 2022. I think he put up a nice amount of goals and points. And he's shown it at times. And they even put him on the second power play unit. But what I'm trying to say is, look, I'm not looking for offense from him. But it makes the whole defensive unit worse, because Keandre Miller is much worse with Jacob Trouba. There's just no question about it. As I've been saying for the longest time. And I know a lot of you do agree with me. I know some of you don't, and have made that very clear. But let's just let the play do the talking. I don't really have to defend it so much, because it's just being given to me on a silver platter. And that is that Jacob Trouba is going to be an issue if deployed the way he is deployed currently. If you want to give him third pair minutes, fine. That's one thing. But for him to be getting legitimate top 4, big-time, important minutes, it is hard for me to believe that you're going to get to the promised land. I don't know if you're going to be able to survive that. Will Trouba do better than he's done the last 2 games? Of course. You can't do much worse. But this was already a concern I had. I was not looking forward to him coming back. I wasn't. And the sad thing is that, and I'm going to keep on saying it, Zach Jones is playing very well. I know that his style of play maybe doesn't translate to playoff hockey. The point is this. There is no doubt that the defensive pairs should be Lindgren with Fox, Miller with Schneider, and either Gustafsson or Jones with Trouba. Because we know Trouba's not getting scratched. We know he's playing. So let's just get that out the way right there. As long as he's healthy, he's in there. But until the coaching staff, does that, I think that there's going to be some issues. So that's the big takeaway here. It's not so much the loss. It does put the Rangers in a more precarious situation as far as the overall standings. But look, they were certainly entitled to a loss. And the fact of the matter is that the Pittsburgh Penguins, while do I think they're going to make the playoffs? No, they're not out. They are not out of it completely. With those, there's 2 Eastern Conference playoff spots up for grabs, and the Penguins, there's a lot of lives because of the fact that teams like the Flyers and the Red Wings and the Islanders can't quite really get it going. And so it allows the Penguins to kind of meander around and hang in there. So, yeah. But Igor Shesterkin was back in there tonight. Wasn't really tested a whole lot. And, I can't really complain. It would have been, I guess all I'd say for him is it would have been nice to make – I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there. Igor is he's a non-factor in this game. He didn't help them. He didn't really hurt them. It just kind of was what it was. I mean, these were grade A opportunities that the Penguins had for their 3 goals, the 3 non-empty net goals that they had. Rangers lineup was the same as last game. It'll be interesting to see next game as far as Matt Rempe is concerned. Does Laviolette bring him back in against the Devils? Like, that's kind of the thing that I'm interested about, because we know that he was suspended against New Jersey. And so does he want to just avoid that whole situation completely? I don't know. Because I think at this point, Rempe, if it weren't against the Devils, I think would be back in there. For who? Probably Johnny Brodzinski. That'd be my guess, but you never know. And I'm not one of those. I heard there was a chant, "Oh, we want Rempe." I'm not on that bandwagon. I just view him as someone that will be in the mix. He'll be probably on the short end of the stick, but he will get some action, and we will see him. I don't think he is your 13th forward right now. But how great do you feel about some of these other forwards as well? So I guess I would like to see them go back to Cooley, Wenberg, Kakko, and then with Goodrow and Vesey, either have Brodzinski or Rempe. I think that's what I'd prefer. I don't love the idea of going, of Cooley being with Goodrow and Vesey. I don't think, I get why it was done, but I don't think it's really provided great results. And I don't know, I kind of like the idea of Cooley and Kakko both on the wings together. And I think Wenberg in the middle there, it can be decent. And, Kakko did score in this game. So just a thought, but we'll see what they do as far as the forwards are concerned. But, yeah, 18 seconds in, Brian Russ scores his 25th goal from Crosby and Smith. Just a bad turnover by Jacob Trouba. And to make matters worse, then he's just not even in the right position to recover. I don't know where he was even going. It was bad all the way around, simply put. And so the Penguins take a 1-0 lead right there. Then the Penguins score again. At 10:39, Sidney Crosby scores his 36th goal of the season from Joseph and Letang. And there was a close call as far as an offside. The Rangers challenged and were unsuccessful. It was deemed, the call stood, it was onside. But, this was a bad job again by the Miller-Trouba pair, as well as the Trocheck line. It was a rare, not-so-good game for the Trocheck line. They didn't really generate a whole lot. Pittsburgh did pretty well defensively. I'll say that. That was a bit of a surprise considering the Rangers put up, 7 or 8 goals against Pittsburgh the last time they played them. So, but yeah, they were shut down. Maybe shut down is a bit much, but it wasn't a great night for the Trocheck line. And eventually they had the Zibanejad line going against the Crosby line, which was a better move. The Mika line, which you'd expect to be a little bit more of a defensive thinking line than the Trocheck line, but it's all about how you, but I could see the pros and cons to it. But yeah, a rough night for that line. And the Penguins being a 2-0. The Rangers do kill off that penalty after the delay of game. And then actually within that, during it, 11:21, Erik Karlsson interferes with Trouba. So there's 4-on-4. Rangers get a power play. They don't score. And the Rangers power play tonight had a couple of opportunities. I guess we'll jump into the second period. So the Penguins have a 2-0 lead at the 1. And then in the second, at 2:02, it was, I'm trying to think when it was later on. I think Malkin at 2:02 slashes Adam Fox, but the Ranger power play doesn't score. They got a lot of chances on that one. I'm trying to think. I'll just say it now, but I think it was the power play at the end of the second was when Zibanejad scored, but they said that it was goal interference on Kreider. I believe that was the power play at the end of the second period. So the Rangers power play didn't have many chance opportunities, but it did have good zone time, and they just couldn't convert against Alex Nedeljkovic, who was pretty good for Pittsburgh. So they didn't score there. Then at 13:17, Schneider interferes with Drew O'Connor. Rangers kill that off. Then at 17:59, Karlsson hooks Artemi Panarin, and the Rangers don't score. And that's what they needed. They really needed to somehow score a power play goal, make it 2-1, and that could have maybe changed the complexion of the game. And it was, big. And Laviolette didn't challenge it because while Kreider, it wasn't like very blatant interference. Kreider was kind of in the blue paint. It was more so where Kreider was positioned than so much their skates got tangled up. But if that tangle up had happened just a little bit above the blue paint, the goalie crease, if you will, then I think that it would have been okay. But 2-0 Penguins going to the third. And then, the Penguins at 9:51, Emil Benstrom scores a 7th goal from Puljujarvi. And this was a really bad play by Will Cooley at the blue line, offensive blue line, and also a bad play by Jacob Trouba for not kind of staying back. He put himself in a position where once it was past Trouba, it was an easy breakaway for Benstrom, who scores past Shesterkin to make it 3-0. So a bad job by Cooley and Trouba there. But the Rangers have a quick response. At 10:42, Kakko scores his 12th goal of the season from Fox and Panarin. So this was a play that actually was a glove stop by Nedeljkovic, but as the replay showed, his glove was actually touching and inside the net. So pretty easy overturn. It wasn't a goal on the ice, but they reviewed it. It was. So 3-1 Penguins now. And then at the Rangers would have to kill off a penalty at 13:58. Pretty inexcusable. 2 minutes on the ice penalty on the Rangers. They kill that off. And then the Rangers actually score again. At 16:53, Jack Roslovic scores his 8th goal of the season, second as a Ranger from Zibanejad. So Mika takes a shot that goes off the backboard and goes under the stick of Roslovic, who quickly shoots it in. So Roslovic, I thought he looked better in this game, even besides the goal. I think he had a really rough game against the Avalanche. The last couple games have been a little bit better for Roslovic, and that makes it 3-2. And where I think Laviolette kind of messed up is I think the goalie was pulled just a little bit too soon. I think that they should have waited to at least have gained full possession in the offensive zone. They didn't do that, and so it's quickly turned around, and the Penguins score empty net goal. It's Rust, his second of the night, 26th of the season from Carter and Letang at 17:49. So that basically ends it right there. And then another empty net goal for the Penguins, Crosby, his 37th goal of the season, second of the night, unassisted at 19:15. And then from there were some penalties to round it out. Malkin, Goodrow, a couple of slashing minors and unsportsmanlike conduct penalties there with 36 seconds left. And the Penguins win 5-2. So Pittsburgh, trying to hang on to those slim playoff hopes. This was a win that certainly does that and keeps them in the mix. This was the one and only meeting that the Penguins Rangers would have at Madison Square Garden. The Rangers had won the 2 previous games at Pittsburgh. So now next game will be against the Devils, the last game of the season versus New Jersey. The Rangers are 3-0 this year against the Devils, who actually it'll be the second game of back-to-back, as the night before they will play these Pittsburgh Penguins. So Penguins, Devils, I believe at the Prudential Center, and then the Rangers will catch the Devils on that second end of a back-to-back. Devils, similar to the Penguins, are, it's not looking likely. They're not 100% dead, and they're trying to just hold on to what they can. And so with that in mind, it's going to be a desperate Devil team. And so that's going to be the tough part for the Rangers, but it shouldn't be that tough, is to just match the intensity. Because the Rangers schedule, it's not difficult these last 7 games, but it is against teams that are fighting for their playoff lives. And if the Rangers come in, kind of like they did in this game, and kind of go slow to start, you might be looking at a loss. So now the Rangers sit 3 points ahead of the Carolina Hurricanes, not only into the division, but for the conference as well. So we will see what happens, but hopefully the Rangers can turn it around. They've had that ability to do it all season long, and I wouldn't expect that to change in this next game against New Jersey. But again, Rangers' 5-game winning streak is snapped. They lose to the Pittsburgh Penguins 5-2.